Hello family, it's me back on. Hello. I just want to talk about some things. Just want to show you my hairdo, because I don't believe in combing no more. I'm just going to keep it 100 and keep it real. I don't like combing, so this is what I did. Did a little flip out ponytail, and this some kind of little twisteroo in the front, and that's how I'm rocking it. But anyway, I just want to talk about mamas, these young mamas, and which is the new school mamas and the old school mamas. I came from old school. My mom, you know, she grew up in the 50s and 60s or whatever, had me in the 70s, and she was very, very hard on me, very hard on me. I mean, the only way I could get out of the house was by running track or playing basketball. So, you know, I'm grateful for that. I've always been a slender person, but that has also made me become athletic to this day, and I really do like working out, and it has been a really good stress reliever for me. Hold on. So that has always been a really good stress reliever for me. But, you know, I want to talk about my mom. She was very, very strict on me. I mean, I was a virgin until I left home. She was just really, really hard on me, to the point where I had to run away from home. It was very sad. It's a very sad story because of the abuse that I endured. It's hard for me to really talk about a lot of times, because to even accept something like that, you went through something like that in your life, and to know that that's part of what kind of made you to who you become today, is really, you know, it's sobering. It's a very sobering experience of what I went through. I mean, you know, my mother used to whip me with extension cords. It was really, really bad. I used to go to school with whips all over me. It's hard to even talk about. But anyway, I used to go to school with whips all over me. I didn't even know it was wrong, you know, because I thought everybody was getting done like this, until my friends started seeing it. And, you know, they're the ones that opened me up, my sight up, to seeing that it was wrong. I knew it was wrong, but I didn't know what to do. And, you know, what do you do when you're a kid and you're 14 and you've been getting done like this all your life? What do you do when you have a mother who is like this, and it's all you know, and she moved you away from your family, and you get mistreated? It's just straight up maltreatment. You know, I'm not the only one that went through this also. And then on top of that, I had sickle cell anemia, so I was always a sick child, always very, very sick. It's just, man, my story is something else. I mean, for me to even go into details, you know, it brings me to tears. And this message is really about mothers. You know, you have children in this world. They are people. They are human beings. You know, it's not okay for you to have children and do what you want to do with kids that's outside of what your responsibilities are in the first place. Number one, you have children. It is not their job to take care of you. That's number one. Stop telling your kids to grow up and buy you a house, because I was bamboozled, you know, and thought that was my responsibility for years, and to a person who didn't even treat me right as a child. And I grew up thinking, you know, in order for her to love me, you know, I need to, man, give her money and buy this and buy that and take care of her other kids, to where I burdened myself. I really did burden myself because of the abuse of my mom, always trying to gain her love, and was never able to get this love from her. that I should have gotten anyway for just being a daughter to her. I wasn't even a bad kid to deserve all these things she did to me. And by the time I ran away from home, you know, I was so hurt. You know, it's dangerous to do this to your kids. I was so hurt that nothing even hurted me anymore. And it's very dangerous. And I was looking for love and a comfort of something. You know, I didn't know what it was or how to actually go about it, because all the pain I was trying to escape from and run from, you know, and I ended up really disrespecting my mom because of it. You know, it became a very volatile relationship. To this day, I never put a hand on my mother. And I'm very proud of that fact, even though she did some things that definitely, it could have definitely went there. And, you know, of all her kids, I'm the only one who never abused her. But it's funny because I'm the oldest of 7. And her other kids didn't even respect her as much as I did. But also, she didn't whoop them. She didn't beat that ass and whoop their ass like she did me. You know, and it's really not fair, because I grew up, you know, God has always had his hands on me, even going through all that, you know. And it's just a very hard thing when mothers, you have daughters, okay? And you're abusing them like this. And then another thing she did was she dated someone who was younger than her, who was close to my age, who ended up becoming a stepfather, and who, was trying to molest me. And I spoke up about it because she always told me not to ever allow someone to touch me. So I believed her. You know, I believed her and believed that, you know, she would fight for me or something if something like that happened. And when I brought it to her attention, she turned her head and act like she didn't see it or didn't hear what I said. So at that point, I made my mind up that I knew I wasn't going to take it anymore from her. I was not taking any more whoopings from her. And I mean, my mom was the type, she used to make me strip naked and whip me with cords on the bed, you know, put her foot on my neck, and I used to have whip. It was really terrible. When I tell you what I endured, it was just a very, very horrible thing that I had to live through. It's just even hard, you know, I mean, just to recreate and to go through that. But for her to allow her boyfriends, my AKA stepfather, to come in the room at night to take my little sister to use the bathroom, and while he getting her out the bed and putting her back in the bed, trying to touch me. And I wasn't going for that. You know, I just always had something in me about that. And I didn't want him touching me. I don't want nobody touching me. I was still a virgin, you know, until the day I left home. And thank God I did speak up to it about it, but she turned around and got pregnant by him and had another baby. And that's when I really lost respect, because I'm like, you choosing this man over your children. And this is still going on today. This is nothing new. Women choose men over their children, and they need to stop it. You need to stop it. Then you want to act like you ain't did nothing wrong in life, and when your kids come up, you looking at them like they owe you something. Nobody owes you nothing. Those are your kids. You take care of them. You put shoes on their feet. You put food in their mouth. You make sure they're educated, that they can grow up and be able to take care of themselves. I spent so many years feeling like I owe my family, my mother and my family, something, because I felt so bad and felt so guilty that they didn't have anything, that I wasted. You know, I'm not going to ever say wasted, but that's kind of what it feel like. And to this day, like, my family always looking at me like I'm supposed to be the one to give them something. I'm a nurse now. I came out of that situation. It was very difficult because it becomes an addiction both ways. The parents looking at the kid for money, like these basketball players and these stars, they going broke behind taking care of their mama. That's not their job. That is not my job to do that. My sisters and brothers. But, you know, it's funny how they can take your money, accept your money, but they don't want to listen to you. You can't tell them nothing. And then they have the nerve to disrespect you. That's where I'm at with it now. Disrespect. And because you cut them off and you don't got no money for them, like one of my sisters, that's a whole nother topic. Man, she off the hook the way she raised her kids. She all out for herself, and they raggedy. She is neglect. It's to the point where I've called the police, I've called social services on her and everything, and everybody calling me about what to do. Call the police. Stop calling me. She don't listen to me. I haven't talked to her in 5 years. I don't have no respect for no woman that don't take care of her kids, look better than her kids, and sending her kids out here in this world to be abused and picked on. And they smoking weed and got habits at the ages of 12 and 14, having kids at 13 and 14 years old. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. And I'm very, very hurt when it comes to abuse from mothers. In fact, I have no sympathy and I have no tolerance. And I believe in turning your ass in. That's what I do. So don't play with me about no abuse. And I don't like to stumble up on it. I don't like to come up on it. Because it's wrong. It's wrong in me to even allow it, to even see it happening to a child. And, you know, you're responsible. I feel like I'm responsible if I don't say something. I'm not going to allow God to hold that up against me or out on me. You know, if you have kids, it's your job. It's your responsibility to take care of. Stop putting these girls in these situations with your little young boyfriends up in the same household and wondering why they are pregnant. You need to be in jail. They need to press charges against all these neglectful mamas who doing this stuff to their children, to their daughters at 12 and 13 and 14, having a baby by their stepfather and their children. I mean, and their boyfriends, because the mama don't want to grow up and want to act like a kid and trying to compete with her daughter, and that's exactly what's going on. But me, I told on mine. I called now. I ain't called 911. I was too afraid. We were so poor. We didn't even have a phone. But I sure did go to school, and I did tell the teachers that man was touching me, and he had to get out of the household. And then my mother attacked me, and I ended up going into foster care because of it. But it did protect me and protect my life. But it did open me up to a lot of things going to foster care. And that's going to have to be another video, another story. But this is mostly about the abuse of mothers to their children and what you do. And it needs to be exposed. And it needs to stop, and it cannot be tolerated. It cannot be tolerated. And I really do believe that my mother was a bit jealous of me in a lot of ways and regards, because it was like she was finna allow this man to do this to me, you know, as a child, as a kid. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. I am not letting your man touch me. That is not going to happen. And even though I couldn't speak up or speak to her, I just knew I had to make a change and get out of there. And that's pretty much how I ended up running away and ended up into some serious circumstances of life, which will probably be a couple more videos about that. But it's not your daughter's job to help you keep a man. Mothers, stop it. I have a lot of in my heart, you know, it's some good mothers out here. Kudos to you. I love the good mamas. There are some good mothers. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones who are using their children, you know, to ride on and as a crutch. That's the ones I'm talking about. And then you laying up here with dudes who are 3 or 4 years older than your teenage daughters. That's not okay. It's not okay. And I feel like charges need to be pressed against you. And I'm going to advocate that to the fullest. You heard me? So comment below and let me know what you think about that. And this is for all my young teenage sisters coming up in this life all by themselves because their mama ain't got their back. And you know what I'm talking about.